What's going on, everybody? It is Jamie and welcome to the channel Thrift on Fire. If you're new here, I'm normally going to thrift stores, yard sales, estate sales, pretty much anywhere I can find stuff cheap to flip online. Today I'm going to be doing a what's sold video. This takes place over the last couple weeks, basically from eBay, Etsy, Poshmark. This isn't everything that has sold for me, but it is some good stuff that has sold recently. So let's get into it. So I sold these Hokas. I wound up actually taking a best offer of $200, and I'll show you that a little bit better in a second. And let me also show you, I paid $99 for these at Winners. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I think maybe in my stories or something, I posted I bought these and showed the comps for them. So I certainly paid up for them with hopes that I could flip them for about $200 to $250. Let me show you exactly the breakdown of what I'm gonna get paid for these, and then I can even go a little bit further than that, and we can talk about, the other fees or taxes that I might have to pay on this. So let's look at this breakdown a little better. I accepted a best offer of $200. There's some taxes collected here by eBay, $17. Transaction fee, I guess that's all in one. Then there's an ad fee, and I promoted this at 4%, so that's the $10.24. After all that is taken out, I am left with $181.29. These cost me roughly that price to ship, so let's just say the shipping is a wash. And once again, I paid $99.99, so basically $100 for these. So I'm making about $81 profit. Not terrible. Just you kind of want to keep that in mind when somebody's showing you they sold something for $200. How much did they pay for it? Well, in this case, I actually paid $100. So I'm still doing pretty good on this, in my opinion, but you got to keep that in mind when you're looking at numbers in general. Just because somebody said they sold something for $200 doesn't mean they made $200 profit. And truth be told, on this particular sale, what you're not being told by a lot of people is you'd be expected to pay income tax on this money as well. Next up here, we have a vintage t-shirt. It actually sold on Etsy. It is a vintage 90s diehard fan Blue Jay shirt. I don't exactly remember these myself. It was a pretty nice shirt though. I'll show you a couple pictures here if they'll load up for me properly. A little closer. Right here, you got the 1992 stamp on there. What was the tag on this one? Don't exactly remember. Oh, Waves. So I picked this up at Salvation Army for about $4.99, $4 to $5 roughly, somewhere in that price point. I do usually take chest measurements as well, and then there's one more of the width, but pretty good. So turning about like $4 or $5 into $45 plus shipping. Still probably going to earn somewhere between $30 to $35 on this. So that's a pretty good flip in my opinion. Next up, we have these Iron Fist platforms. Now these, I don't always seem to find smaller sizes. I'm sure they did make them in all kinds of sizes. For me locally, I don't know if it's the same person who's owned them, because I generally find them in Tillsonburg, Ontario, which is a small town anyway, and they usually are size 6. And I found a few pairs. This is the latest pair that I sold. They're pretty nice, $47. I think I probably paid about $6 for these. Pretty nice little flip. Iron Fist also made clothing. Very, very similar, very loud colors. If I go back to one of the main photos, a lot of like tattoo type imagery, and loud colors, and really, really crazy. I used to have an actual hoodie that was like basically like a zombie face, full zip, and you pulled it up. I think I maybe even wore it on the channel a few times. Maybe last year around Halloween, I think I maybe wore it on the channel. I've since sold it, but I've had that for quite a while. Iron Fist is definitely a good company. It's kind of a little bit of a niche thing to like look for. Like I said, I don't know if they still make stuff. I should look into that. But when I do find it, I pick it up because it usually holds its value well and sells for decent money. Next up, I have a brand new pair of Levi's. I think this might be one of the last ones from my red tag deal clothing buyout. This was, I have been getting new jeans, new tags, but they are different tagged than this that I've been getting recently. The ones I've been getting recently are from Costco. And I believe these were potentially from like Hudson Bay Company. I believe that's where a lot of the clothes I got from that buyout was. I can no longer remember my buy cost for that. I'm gonna guess it was probably between $6 to $10 an item, maybe less than that, but I threw away a lot in that. So these particular jeans finally did sell. I didn't take a best offer, I don't think, or anything, $42, so that was pretty good. And this is obviously that wholesale buy that I did, or liquidation buy that I did. I'm into the profit. So these pants are pure profit at $42 plus shipping. So I'm pretty happy with the sale. It did take a while to sell, probably almost a year to sell these jeans in particular. Next up, I have a set of 2 tennis rackets here. I've kind of got it broken down like this. I'll just move my little video to the side here. So this was basically, they weren't lotted together. I lotted the 2 Titans and the other 2 Titans together. I think one is a youth and one is an adult set. I think one I actually had listed for something like 80 and one for 60. The same person offered me, money for both. I think I paid about $3 or $4 a racket. So I'm, let's say $4 a racket. So I'm into them $16, and this person offered me $50 a piece or a set, so $25 each. That's kind of how I looked at it. We talked back and forth. I kind of had to amalgamate the shipping just so that it wasn't going to be so crazy for him, and we made a pretty good deal, and these sold within a week of being listed, so that's pretty good. And I picked these up actually at, in my opinion, one of the most expensive Goodwills around my area. They've actually got worse. At the Goodwill in St. Thomas, the pricing is just crazy. What I've noticed in there recently, now this is just me going on a little rant, it has nothing to do with the racket sale here. When I went in there the other day to look at clothing, usually clothing in there, the shirts were $4.75. Well, if it happened to be an Under Armour piece, well, now that shirt is $6.50. Or if it happened to be, I'm just trying to think of something else that wasn't sports teams. It seemed to be more like athletic here. Oh, Gymshark. I think the Gymshark t-shirt I seen in there, it was sort of like a dry fit type material. It was almost like $8 or $9 for a t-shirt, just a regular t-shirt. So, normally that store's hard to find anything. So when I found these rackets for so cheap, pretty happy. I do like to stop in there because it is on my route home, and every once in a while, you can run into some deals, but you have to weed through all the really expensive stuff in there and hope to find something somebody's either mispriced, missed, or overlooked. But this was a good one here, the tennis rackets. This is the time of year you want to be listing sporting equipment. So if you do have stuff like this, get it listed because it probably will sell pretty quickly. All right, this was a brand that I didn't really know anything or much about at all. I had kind of heard of it, maybe heard somebody else talk about it. It is Sweeney London. And basically when I picked these things up in the thrift store, I could just feel that they were quality. They looked very, very nice. And when I looked them up, I was pretty surprised to see, 90, anywhere from $50 to $130 for used shoes is pretty crazy. I couldn't find this exact model, so I listed it a little bit lower. I think I took a best offer on this as well. I can't remember the exact original list price, but they did sell on Poshmark for $60, and that I thought was pretty good. The bottoms have just a little bit of wear. I had some questions about this. I think this was either an original tag that I didn't try to get off, like the manufacturer tag, or potentially maybe somebody got this at a different thrift store and wore them like that, but that was really kind of just ground in there. I do think that was actually just a manufacturer sticker, but I didn't try too hard to get it off there because they're used shoes to begin with, and wasn't overly concerned. Normally I do try to clean the bottoms up nice, but that just would have been too much. So yeah, I was really happy with this one, and it did sell pretty quickly within maybe a week or 2 listed. All right, moving on to an Etsy sale. This is just a nice little VCR pickup here. I can't remember exactly where I got this, but I pay anywhere from $5.99 up to $13 for VCRs. Recently, I paid $18 for a combo unit, which is paying up, but sometimes if you think they're gonna be worth, $75 to $100, I will pay closer to the $20 range. I don't really like to, obviously, but if they're going to sell and it's a good brand, it's fine. This one is a pretty okay brand. It's not a crazy good brand or anything like that, but it was bought pretty cheaply, less than $10, and it flipped pretty quickly for $50. If you're afraid to ship these things, what I've been doing recently, I used to bubble wrap the machines and pack them all around. This machine is pretty lightweight. So what I've been doing is I just get these 18 by 12 and a half by 4.5 boxes just from Staples. If you're gonna buy them individually, I think they cost $2. I will just put basically the box in there for the VCR, drop the VCR down in it, packing tape all around, not packing tape, packing paper on the bottom, all the way around, and then on top, and then I close it up. Haven't been bubble wrapping these things. There's not really much that can break on them, and I don't feel like the little bit of bubble wrap will help that much. So packing paper has been protecting them. I haven't had any damaged ones in a really, really, really long time. And that's just what I've been doing. If it seems like something more breakable, sometimes then I will get into maybe the bubble wrap, or even using, I mentioned before, pool noodles. So you can cut pool noodles up and kind of use them as more stable support for shipping something out like this. But for this, it's just, very tightly packed packing paper, and in an this one it went out in an 18 by 12.5 by 4.5 bucks. Pretty basic. I think through Stallion it only cost maybe something like $14 or $15 to ship out anyway. Next up, another eBay sale. This was something I picked up at simply secondhand, and if you can't tell here, this green sticker right there makes me believe that this was from Costco. I think I picked this up for maybe somewhere between $15 and $20. I'm gonna guess around $15 to be honest. And I actually took a best offer of $40, not $48. I don't really know, sometimes when you look at the sales on here, sometimes it's crossed out and you know the best offer is accepted. This one, I just remember there was a $40 best offer, and then if I click through, to the next part, it would show you the total breakdown. But I honestly sold this for $40. I might have paid $15 or $20. Don't exactly remember the buy cost on this one. Not making a ton of money, but right now, I was stocking up in jean jackets, and so if I'm getting offers on them, I'm kind of getting to the end of jean jacket season, so if I could just, let them go, that's what I've been doing. But this was a pretty nice one. I don't think it would have got any more than $50 anyway, and I probably would have had to wait till fall to get that. So, a pretty nice one, new with tags still. Buffalo's not it is a great brand personally. It's not a great resale brand for jeans and stuff like that. It's something I actually avoid. I don't normally pick up Buffalo anything, but this jean jacket, new tags, I thought was nice enough to give a try, and it did sell. So next up, we have a US Poshmark. This is my US store. It is the store 670, and my Canadian store is 654. The store, they're very similar. We live on a farm, so they're different property numbers. So that's what the numbers, they're basically 911 numbers, if you're kind of curious what those numbers are. But they're associated with the property that I live on. So anyway, so this was a sale that I picked up. This was something just like the Hokas that I bought at Winners. I think I bought for, around $50 or something like that. They were on clearance. So $50 Canadian. They flipped for, that's US, $75 US. Buyer paid the shipping. Not making a killing on this, but I think when I figured it out, it was still, I'll throw it up on the screen. I don't want to guess too much. $75 US, I believe, is still close to $90 to $100, and I will throw down just what it is right on the screen right now. I don't know exactly. So it's still pretty good. I think I had this thing listed for anywhere from $140 to $110, depending on the platform that it was on. The Leafs are in the playoffs right now, playing the Lightnings when I'm filming this video. I think last night they had a come from behind victory, I think in overtime, something like that. Pretty exciting. So people are excited about hockey right now in the NHL playoffs, and I think that's why this guy sold. Have I shipped this one out? Yeah, this one's going to the US somewhere as well. So went out just the other day, Monday. Today when I'm filming this is Tuesday, but on Monday it'll probably be there, hopefully before the next round of the playoffs and the Leafs are in it, and this person can enjoy the jersey. Next up, this is another Etsy sale. I've had this for a little while. I think last summer, or maybe last fall, something like that. I bought a whole bunch of hats at Salvation Army. They were $2 a piece. There was a ton of vintage, a ton of like car-related stuff, just like this one, Molson Indy 88. This is sort of like that silky vintage feel. It's kind of, I don't like that feeling. Actually, I think it feels kind of weird, but to each their own. Still a very popular style. People like this. I did sell on Etsy for full price, $45. Was been listed on eBay for quite a while. I've just cross-listed it to both Poshmarks and Etsy within maybe since Christmas or something like that, around that time. And it finally sold on Etsy for $45 plus shipping. So this is a pretty good one, turning $2 into $45. Not something to sneeze about. Next up, this Toronto Raptors jersey. Now, I don't know if I have a good picture here of the size tag. So there's a size tag there on the jersey, and then there's the one on the shirt. And then I did take measurements across and down. So you can see it's crossed out. I originally had it listed even higher than $35. I think I had it listed for $40. I relisted it because the second I listed it, somebody messaged me and said, hey, this is not an adult jersey, it's a youth jersey. And they explained to me the measurements. I said, yeah, I actually couldn't figure it out. And I was just kind of gonna roll the dice and say that it was an adult jersey. And I really wasn't sure. So thank goodness the person reached out and said that to me. I tried to hold it up to a different jersey and it didn't look that far off. And I thought maybe it was just a little bit more form-fitting or something. They explained to me that it definitely was and showed me, the telltale signs, which, you could see in the measurements. And and whatnot. So I took the listing down. I had it cross-listed, I think, to 4 different places. Took the listing down, put it back up as a youth jersey, and I believe it wasn't even the same person who bought it, which is kind of crazy, actually. I figured the person maybe was trying to, like, you know, line it up, maybe get it a little cheaper. I didn't really know. I was happy they obviously told me about it. And if you're a viewer of the channel, I've had that happen too, where people who watch this channel will reach out and tell me, you know, correct some mistake that I made, and I really do appreciate that. It does help a ton. But it did sell right away, and I think I took a best offer of $25. Youth jerseys don't have as much value as adult jerseys. And I was a little nervous just because thinking maybe somebody would buy this and then not realize it was youth or not fit or whatever. So, you know, I paid a couple bucks for this, I think $5 at that, wasn't a yard sale, but it's like a yard sale. I went to my friend's storage unit and picked through his stuff, and I think I wound up paying $5 for this thing. So selling it for $25, making it a quick $20 less fees. I'm okay with that, just to keep it rolling. Like I said, I don't really know a ton about this player anyway, or if it's a relevant jersey. I really didn't look it up. I just kind of listed it as is, based solely off of comps, and you know, it sold same day. So pretty happy with that. Could have I got more? Maybe, but still happy with the quick sale. Last but not least, this was also from my last video. At the end of the video, I went yard sailing, if you guys remember. This was the week in the life, part 2, and I found all these jeans. And this is the rare Diesel Adidas Cross. Now, it doesn't show once again here. I didn't get 110 for this. Somebody asked me to measure, I think the opening of the of right here, the foot opening, or the bottom, I guess. They wanted to know that, and they wanted to know, I think, the actual inseam. So I took those measurements, sent it to them. They sent me an $80 offer. Of course, I'm going to take it. I think I'm into each pair of pants from that buy something like less than $3. Let's just say $2.50. Could be more, could be less, but it's less than $3. I do remember that. So turning that into $80 quickly, I think these probably would have sold, you know, for a little more than that eventually, but I was having a slow week last week with sales on eBay anyway, and at the end of the week, somebody offered me $80 for these things, and I just decided to take it, you know, because sometimes that's just what we have to do. You know, could I hold out for max profit? Yes, but I'm happy to see things move. So if I can get, you know, a good offer on something like this, I'm probably going to take it. So if you stuck around this long in the video, I really do appreciate it. I kind of plan on doing a different video than a what sold video this week. I've had a really wild week. A lot of things happened at my workplace. Essentially, I'm going to be off for a couple weeks. I don't want to go into too much details. I'm off for 2 weeks. I'm going to be on a week vacation, and then I'm going back. I've given notice at work, so I'm going to be officially done my job at the end of May, and I'll be going full-time reselling. This week, I'm already kicking into full-time, you know, the full-time mentality. I've been listing a ton. We went out sourcing on Monday. Today, I was basically taking photos and getting things going. So right now, up until the end of May, I'm still going to continue to list 5 things every day, just like I have been doing this entire time as a part-time reseller. And then the goal is second that I'm full-time, I'm going to try to up it up to at least 10 a day. You know, it might not be possible, but I do believe with yard sale season right around the corner, cheap inventory worth decent money should come my way, you know, tenfold. That's hopefully what's going to happen. I am hitting now the Goodwill bins 2 times a week. Usually try to get there early Monday morning, and it's been really good. Been able to get lots of shoes. Obviously, you have to clean those and get them ready. You know, picking up lots of jeans and shirts and stuff there. So I've been getting lots of inventory. That's been really good. And then hitting it the second time through the week, that's been awesome as well. It just kind of lets me bump up inventory. And then I'm still thrifting through the week if I'm out and stuff like that. But you know, that's cool. I've got an official date of being, you know, done. I've got 20 years employment at my current job. You know, I'm very thankful for all that. You know, it's not necessarily gonna be the most smooth transition leaving there. I don't know how that will play out, and I don't want to, you know, stir up any bad feelings here, you know, publicly on YouTube either about it. So I don't want to talk too much about it right now, but you know, I do appreciate you guys sticking around here till the end. You know, I'm officially announcing I will be going full-time, which is pretty cool, pretty exciting for me. You know, I basically, for me personally, and if you're thinking about going full-time, this is the way that I have thought about it, and I probably will make a full video talking about this. I've saved up enough, you know, money in savings that I feel like if everything went south, I would be okay for potentially, you know, 6 months at least, I probably could stretch that out to a year if I needed to. You know, if I wanted to be very frugal and just bare minimum everything, I think a year I could probably make very little money and be okay. And I think that's a pretty good thing you need to do. You need to build up some sort of buffer, and then, you know, obviously my plan is to add to that, not take away. But if you need to take away from that, that's fine. You never know. Maybe something happens and I can't work, or maybe something happens to my vehicle that needs to be fixed and addressed, and it's a big chunk of money. You don't want to put everything on credit and go into debt. Currently, I have very little debt whatsoever. Basically, my vehicles are my only debt, if I'm going to be completely honest at the moment. And I think that's a big thing. If you're big time in debt, you probably wouldn't want to walk away from full-time employment. In my own eyes, I'm a fairly young person, but you know, I am in my 40s, and I do have children I had children super young. So I have children my daughter is in her 20s, early 20s. My son's about to turn 19. So they're not so dependent on me. I'm certainly, you know, helping them with lots of anything that they need. I would obviously help my children with, but it's not something that I'm, you know, focused on like when they were small. You know, they wouldn't be eligible for my work benefits anymore. You know, I don't need to provide all the same things when you have young children. So those are all things to keep in mind. If you're thinking about going full-time, you got to kind of get all your ducks in a row. In this case, I was lining up my ducks, and I feel like I said, I'll probably go through it in a future video. I feel like I was blindsided a little bit and just decided to take the leap into full-time. So if you guys like videos like this, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing for more content. Till next time, take care, stay safe. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.